welcome back, everybody, to a wonderful episode of Banter on the Rocks. Today is Monday, April 27th. And if this is your first time here, welcome to the show. And to everyone who tunes in each and every week, thank you, of course, for all of the support you give us. And make sure to hit that follow and subscribe button so you're here for each and every weekly drop. I got myself Tim here today, John, of
Mhm.
course, and on today's episode, we'll be covering our banter takes. Of course, we love bantering back and forth on these.
Mhm.
Always a good time. After that, we got some NFL draft recap, basketball playoff talk coming up, and of course, much, much more. And as always, we're bringing real talk, honest reactions, and plenty of banter along the way.
Mhm.
So let's get into it. And as we do each and every week, we are going to go over our banter drink of the week. And this week, I have, just going to another classic for the SoCal region, going with 805, but 805 Cerveza. This
Okay.
one, I feel like gets you either like it or you despise it.
Yeah.
There's no in between. I somewhat enjoy it. I think it's pretty good. I think it's a little different from their traditional thing, but yeah, 805 Cerveza it is.
Yeah. It has like that lime flavor, right? Or
That's right. And I think
yeah.
that's why a lot of people don't like it, is because
Hmm.
they think it dominates too much. But, if you're going to have, maybe Modelo or Corona, oftentimes you're putting a lime in it. So,
Yeah.
but I think the artificial thing is maybe what
It's
stirs
yeah.
people.
It could be. It could be. Um, but yeah, no, it's a good one. I'm sticking to what I just have in the fridge while I'm trying to move.
There you go.
Jack and Coke. So good old Jack and Coke getting me through the day.
Yep.
Moving boxes, tired as hell, but part of the process. So Jack and Coke, it is for today.
Active weekend for you, John. Lots of
Very
moving, but
active.
also mile run.
Yeah,
Love it.
I only did a
Was it a mile or
mile.
more?
I know I only did a mile.
That's
If
good.
I would have done 3 miles, if I would have done the 5K like Vera, I probably would have
Uh-huh.
been like in the ER by now, recovering. You'll see me with those athletes that get it's probably smart the like hyper like the chambers on your legs where you're just like laying.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I
Yeah.
would probably need for like a few days just to
Those
come
inflatable
back.
looking ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, those look great. Hey, but shout
Yeah.
out you and Vera. That's awesome.
No, it was good. So I'm starting to get back out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our drinks for the week, and we'll continue on with the episode. We might go away from this topic for a bit. We've always done Tim's Wolfpack check-in, but as you guys, if you were listening last week or if you've been following the Wolves, they are regulated, and another loss this weekend. So Tim did also have an active week and went to a Dodger game. So it'll be our
Yes.
Dodger game recap.
Do a little Dodger game recap here. It was a really good time. LA's kind of going through a bit of a cold spell. Rained for maybe a whopping minute and a half during like the first inning. Wasn't much. We were under an overhang. Seats were phenomenal.
Nice. Yeah, they look good.
Shout out Robin, my sister-in-law sister-in-law Kimberly. Hooked it up with the tickets. Great seats. Phenomenal game, lots of scoring.
Yeah.
12-4, Dodgers ended up winning. Got to see Roki Sasaki. I'll say his name in
Hmm.
full. I did say it once, Roki Sasaki. Um, because at times, he was kind of sucking it up.
Hmm.
Was able to come away with a more productive outing than he had in the past. And it's funny because we just talked about him last week with the lack of control he has,
Hmm.
and that was a big deal. The pitches were all over the place. Cubs hit a few big home runs off of him, but
Hmm.
then Dodgers were able to kind of pull away. Relief pitching looked good. But yeah, overall great experience. I
Hmm.
was doing a little show and tell before, but figure, of course, going to take home the Dodger nacho helmet.
Nacho helmet.
I have the Mookie Betts version, kind of
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Nice little added touch. Nachos were great.
Yeah.
Nachos were very good. Got the
Yeah.
asada nachos. Also, they have asada fries. Couldn't find those bad boys.
Okay.
We'll get more into that though. And then it was Roki. bobblehead day.
Nice.
So
Okay.
nice bobblehead for sure. Pretty
Yeah.
cool. Happy we made it on time. I was kind of worried, like, how many fans are they going to give it away to? In Jen, my wife gave a did her first little bobblehead trade. There was a guy asking for one of the bobbleheads in a trade for either a Blake Trinan bobblehead or a Hello Kitty bobblehead. Of course, opted
Ooh,
for the Hello Kitty
I could
bobblehead.
imagine.
And it happened to be a Golden State Warriors bobblehead as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
Ariel's thrilled, and Jen likes it as well. So
Nice.
yeah, good little trade. I think it was a fair deal. And yeah, overall, check out the Banter Instagram,
Hmm.
TikTok, YouTube page. Did had a few clips in there. Max
Hmm.
Muncy home run, Otani Aura, and then of course the food review. That was a big
Yes.
deal. Fat mode for Tim. Good old times. And had the nachos given an 8 1 out of 10. Thought they
Hmm.
were super solid. Obviously, the helmet added touch, but the chip to topping ratio,
Yeah.
fantastic. Really
Nice.
good ratio. And then had the Dodgers asada tacos as well. It
Yeah, I
was
saw
pretty
that.
cool. Blue tortillas
Hmm.
in a baseball diamond shaped box. They had all the fixings, onions, mixed in with some cilantro, salsa, and then plenty of limes. That's
Okay.
key. They didn't
Yeah.
just give you one or two. They did a little pile. They were fair
Okay.
with it.
Nice.
That was
That
great.
that's good. That's good to hear that they weren't being stingy at a ballpark because I think that's
That's
always
right.
a concern. Are they going to give you good food?
Yes. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And speaking of good food, I know, John, you were probably just as disappointed as I was that I
Mhm.
could not track down the 2 foot glizzy.
I was waiting for that review when I saw like you starting to post your food reviewers. I was like, I need to see this glizzy review. I wanted to see what Tim gives it.
Yep. I was absolutely obnoxious about it in the car ride there too, to everybody in the vehicle. Got to find the glizzy, got to find the glizzy. So what had happened was we found our seats. Rob and I got up. We were venturing, to find some good food. Came across, a lot of great stuff, burrito bowls, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Ran into a hot dog stand. I walk up, talk with the first employee available. I said, "Hey, you guys have that new chili dog?" And then guy's like, he's looking up at his thing and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, we got a chili dog." And I'm like, but it wasn't the right one. It was
It
going to
was
be like,
yeah,
a tinier glizzy. So I
a
was like,
normal yeah.
how do I say this without being, a little too? I was like,
Inappropriate.
you know. I was like, the big one. And I said it like that. And, I just kind of put my hands out a bit, like to
Uh,
measure. And then he's like, oh, yeah, 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 the big one. I'm not too sure. And then the coworker, the lady next to him's like, probably couldn't have been much louder, said, oh, you want the big one. And then I was like, yeah. And I was like, let's tell the whole world
Oh
that I'm
shit.
looking for the giant glizzy to munch down on. And
uh,
then she was a great help, though. Shout
yeah.
out, that fine lady helping us out there. Pointed us to either direction of the outfield, I guess. We went to a stand over there. Game was about to start, so lines were long. We hopped in one line, kind of read the menu because we kind of
Mhm.
figured, both ends would have the same. No glizzy. No glizzy. Had the
Yeah.
tacos, had the nachos.
Okay. All right.
Glizzy was not there. But I want to go to another game this season because I think the Dodgers have done a fantastic job with their stadium. It's
Yeah.
not just Carl's Jr. burgers, more variety.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, bar was good. Bar
Okay.
mixed drinks were great.
They look good.
Yeah, no, they were fantastic.
Uh,
And then they have an AM PM. I don't know if you've
oh?
seen that.
No.
An AM PM, bunch of coolers, everything from Red Bull to soda to Gatorade, but then different types of beer.
Okay.
And like phenomenal. Like you just
Okay.
walk in, one guy at the cash register on your way out, scan it.
Yeah.
Um, that's it. I thought that was really
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
So
Nice. Good experience.
good experience, minus the glizzy.
Overall, like trip to Dodger Stadium, because you're a Giants fan, so some people always talk smack about Dodger Stadium. But what would you give it a out of 10? Your experience this round?
Ooh. It was real good, John.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it an 8-4.
8-4. Okay. Not
No,
bad.
you know
That's good.
what? Yeah, we'll go A4. We'll go A4.
Yeah.
Seat's phenomenal,
Yeah.
but not one fight. We were talking about it after. Kind of wanted to see at least one, at
Yeah.
least one.
Hey,
Um,
your seats were too much in the non-fighting area. I think if you're
yeah,
one deck above, that's where you'll see all the action. You go
yeah.
up to those upper decks, oh man, it's just fighting every inning.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, especially if there was any PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong fans. He kind of went back and forth with Dodger fans constantly throughout the series. God, he sucked it up. He had
Yeah.
the what do they call it? The platinum sombrero, 0 for 4,
Uh,
4Ks.
yeah.
Just stared at everybody. And then fly ball to center field, misjudged it. Looked awful. Looked like Little League to him. Um, yeah, so that was probably it, John. Bleacher
Oh,
section also, I think some good fights happen out
yeah.
there.
Okay, yeah.
Um, but overall, good
Nice.
experience. Really enjoyed myself.
Good.
I know Jen did too, and it's a good time.
That's a nice.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, that's the Dodger game recap. Like I say, we'll probably get back to soccer maybe towards the end of May.
Hmm.
Getting ready for the World Cup. And maybe we'll even talk some more soccer the next few weeks, depending on what Arsenal does, because
Oh yeah.
Arsenal did win. They're at top of the league, but Man City still has one game less than them. They win. They're back at top. It's going to be goal differential for sure if both
Hmm.
teams win out. So it'll be a tight, interesting race to the EPL, league trophy.
Yeah.
That we'll keep an eye on.
And Burnley confirmed relegation, and Tottenham as well, right? Confirmed relegation or not quite?
No, I think I think it could be this weekend, depending on how things go.
That's the one
Yeah,
we're really anticipating with the
yeah,
meltdown there.
that's a big one. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't heard if they're confirmed regulation, but I know they're at the edge. Um,
Okay.
they did what they needed to do, but the other team that had to win also won, so didn't help them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Guess we'll see.
But yeah, all right. But yeah, that's the Dodger recap. But we'll go into our banter takes. So this is our hottest takes of the week. We don't compare notes. We don't pull any of the punches. Everything you're about to hear is just fresh off of our mind. Real time reaction. So we're gonna get into it. Tim sends me my take. I send Tim his takes, and then we discuss. Sometimes we'll banter about it. Sometimes we agree on our 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 takes. So we'll sort of see. Um, so Dylan Raviola, I mean Raiolia, looks incredibly ready for second. Damn it! I mean the second string for the Oregon Ducks.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
I haven't seen how he's looking. Like I say, I haven't been paying attention too much to mini Patrick Mahomes. Um, is he going to be ready to go? I know he's coming off an injury, correct?
Coming off of an injury for sure. He has a Banter on the Rocks friendly belly for sure.
Okay.
Belly was out, sun's out, belly's out for Dylan Raviolis.
And it might be that Oregon weather, People, when you go to Oregon, I think it's beautiful up there. I enjoy the gloominess, but there's some people that just get depressed and probably eat. And, Dylan Raviola might be eating a lot of ravioli up there, a lot of that seafood up in Oregon.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna say he's not gonna be the starter. He's second string. I don't know. He's not a senior, correct? Is he junior?
That's kind of the talk of the town. See, how many years he has
Yeah.
left. He's 20. I
Okay.
think at the moment
He must be a junior then.
I think he's considered a junior. I think that's
Yeah.
right. I'm
Yeah, he
I
was
forget.
sophomore last year. So yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So he's a
Junior.
junior. So he's got 2 years. So like I say, playing 1 year at second string in Oregon and then being the starter his senior year. Oregon's always a dangerous club, dangerous team to play. Um, and Riolia, um, did well with Nebraska. I think it's the only upside Nebraska really had. People watch Nebraska because of him. Um, but man, this guy, if he's getting that banner on the Rocks belly, he needs to step it up. Go run some 5Ks because um, can't be looking like that in college. You know, we've seen a lot of people get passed on this current draft that him looking like that if he goes for it. Oh, you just sent me a picture. Man,
Yeah.
that looks like my belly right now, and I
You
am
can
bad.
see the outline of the belly button.
Yeah.
That's when it's a little rough.
It is a little rough, but still has the headband like Patrick Mahomes, the
Yep.
armband, his hands a little, down the way Patrick Mahomes does his hands when he's running. Um, Man, this guy, it's so crazy that he's. I still haven't seen him admit that he just wants to be Patrick Mahomes. He wants to be the doppelganger. He's doing everything like Patrick Mahomes, trying to play like him. Um, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. And I'm curious, speaking of wanting to just be Mahomes 2.0,
Hmm.
Nike or Oregon, of course, Nike school.
Hmm.
Mahomes, Adidas guy.
Adidas, yep.
I wonder how much conflict this is going to bring for him.
It
Is he
could.
Adidas off the field, and then he can't? It might affect his mental a bit, John,
It could
is
be.
what I'm thinking here. He's like, damn, I can't get in my Mahomes element
Mm-mm.
if I have to wear these Nikes. And,
Yeah.
it's going to be unreal. Do the shades change? Does the haircut change this year? Lots of things with Rayola. And then
Yeah.
does Mahomes come out of injury with a bit of a belly as well? I'm kind of
Mm.
curious.
We'll see. I haven't seen too many pictures of Mahomes
Yep.
since the off season.
Likewise.
Trying to think, can't think of anything. I heard his recovery is going well from what I've been reading reports. He'll be ready, not the beginning of the season, but it could be a good season for KC. But like I say, if I was the KC executives making that decision, I think I'd keep him out this year. Let him fully recover a year. Try to get a high draft pick. Next year, quarterbacks, if you're in the top 10,
Hmm.
even top 15, you could pick up some nice quarterbacks at the end of the round or end of the first round. Um, get his successor. I don't
Hmm.
think it'll be Dylan here. But maybe the first string, Dante Moore, could be a guy that goes to KC, takes
Hey,
over.
yeah, how about that? Get his successor. You think maybe if Andy Reid goes, then we're kind of projecting that Mahomes as well, huh?
Uh-huh.
New beginnings, find another destination
Hmm.
to bring his stardom. But
Yeah.
yeah, Dante Moore possibility, or Mahomes still on the younger side
Yeah.
slightly, getting old, but certainly has a lot of mileage, under his belt. I wonder, you don't draft QB next season. You wait one more year, then you go Raiola.
Maybe.
You got to draft him. I think
Yeah.
you got to do it.
Hmm.
And they kind of set up that way. I'm a little bummed out about this pick. Emmett Johnson, we're big fans of his. Nebraska running back, played
Hmm.
with Raiola this past season. Dude is an absolute beast. Chiefs
Hmm.
drafted him, of
Oh,
course they
okay.
did. I think they'll make him a threat somehow. Um, but they're probably good buds,
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Want to link back up with Emmett, get that duo going.
It could
Um,
be.
yeah,
It
maybe
could be
maybe
the
we're heading
start.
towards that.
It could be the start to that.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah. But yeah, Dylan Raiola looks needs to pick it up, He could be like one of those athletes that gets really chubby, but then in a week could cut it all down. We'll see.
Hmm.
He's still young. The one UFC fighter I always think about is Patty Pimblett.
Oh yeah,
Always
good
like
one.
after the fight eating a bunch of pizza, even before like his fight, he just has his belly, but then fight night, this guy's just shredded, ready to fight.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's a great example. I think notoriously Mike Trout's kind of known to do the same
Hmm.
thing. I know he can be a little chub scout going into
Yeah,
spring training, and then dude leans out. But I think he changed that this year because dude's been slim and then
yeah,
been destroying the ball this season. And kind of Mike Trout of old, except the average kind of dipped a bit, but he's played really
yeah,
well and he's stealing
yeah.
some bases, something he
Nice.
hasn't done in the past.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
um, yeah, top ten athletes list where, get chubby off season, then fit for regular
yeah,
season. We should make that coming weeks.
yeah. Anyway, we could look into that. Raiola, let's see what he looks like. We'll wait 2 weeks, see how he shapes up, and then see if
That'll
we
work.
put him into the top 10. See if
Yeah,
he,
and quite frankly, kind of like you said, he's ready for seconds.
yeah.
So, second string throughout the season, not much worry. So, I mean, quite frankly, he can be a little fat. He could be fat on the sideline
Hmm.
and just, carry a clipboard,
Hmm.
QB2. He's talking about that in a press conference recently,
Hmm.
saying, the adjustment to being a backup coming from a college where he's a starter said, I'd be lying to you if I'm, not having to kind of deal with the adjustment.
Hmm.
Um, which kind of leads me to the thought though, John.
Hmm.
Do you think he transferred to Oregon thinking Dante Moore was for sure going to the draft?
Yeah. I think a
Yeah.
lot of us thought Dante Moore was going to the draft, and the reason the rumor is, and like I say, I don't know how true this is Las Vegas had Mendoza going number one,
Yeah.
and the Jets were number two. He didn't want to go to the Jets, so he took his name out. I don't think Dante Moore has that star power like Eli Manning to be like, I'm not going to play for your team, trade
Yeah.
me. Not many players have that type of pizzazz. Dante Moore isn't that guy. So it's
Mhm.
wherever he was going to get drafted, that's where he was going to go, and he didn't want to go to the Jets. We'll talk a little bit more about the NFL draft and even the Jets draft. Um, but yeah, I think he went there thinking he was going to be the starter. Great system, help him become maybe a top, or within that first to second round draft pick of a QB for either as a junior or even as a senior, 2 years there.
Mhm.
But yeah, Dante Moore sort of ruined his plans, I would say.
He did. Stress eating.
Stress eating. Yeah.
It's a real deal.
Yeah.
I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Get a little anxiety, something going on
Yeah.
at work, something.
Yeah.
Chow down a sandwich.
Yeah.
All right,
He,
let's take
he
a bite.
he does the Mark Sanchez thing. He's just eating hot dogs on the sideline, because he ain't even starting.
Ah, good point. Yeah, there it is. Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
food
But
delivered.
yeah. But yeah, we'll see what Dylan Raiola looks like in a few weeks. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt beginning of this,
Sure.
off season for them. Um, but But yeah,
Yeah.
that picture is not flattering. Like I say, I might look a little bit better in pads, and I'm
Yeah.
not that great looking with my belly.
Oh man, it was wild. If you go full belly button, that's a little different. Yeah. But hey, shout out Dylan Raiola.
Hmm.
Hope you find some success there. All right. Got my take here. Ontario just said no more. You can't resell tickets above face value. Basically, they're trying to kill the whole scalper game. And honestly, about time. Buying tickets now feels like fighting bots, then paying 3 times on resale just to get in the door. But here's the real question. Does it actually fix it? Or just push resellers underground? If it works, don't be surprised if places like California start looking at it next. Completely agree. Are we talking Ontario, Canada, or
Hmm.
Ontario? Okay, I was hoping it was
Yeah.
going to be more local for us, Ontario, California. It's like, oh, sweet. But I'm thinking like they don't have much going on in
No.
Ontario. I know they have one small mid-sized arena,
Yeah,
but Ontario, Canada is certainly onto something. Toronto sits in Ontario, Canada, right?
I think so.
If I know
I
my
think it's just.
Canadian
Hmm.
provinces well enough.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it's up there. So yeah, this is fantastic. I think it's a trend in the right direction. I
Hmm.
know that there was a big ruling against a major ticket company
Hmm.
recently in the court system. So, that's just kind of where things are trending. And quite
Hmm.
frankly, I can appreciate everybody making money, in different types of ways. I collecting, trading cards,
Hmm.
whatever you name it, collectibles. But when it comes to tickets, I think that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It's a big bummer. I get it if you can't make the event, you purchase it.
Hmm.
But just to buy them and then, programming bots in order to swoop them up really quick is a bummer. And then possibly having, I don't know if you want to call it insider buying, insider
Hmm.
trading, where you have, employees of companies buying them and reselling them on, the second market
Hmm.
themselves sucks. And then on top of that, you're paying, fees, transaction fees, and it just
Yep.
becomes an annihilation of the pockets.
Yeah.
And it's a big letdown. So I think that this is a trend in the right direction. Stirs away bots, stirs
Hmm.
away people that are maybe non-fans of something, and real fans get an opportunity to purchase the ticket. Um, I don't know if we'll go back to old school times, John, where you show up at the stadium and say, got two tickets, and then you start,
Yeah.
trying to get cash. Um, those were the days. Those were the days.
Yep.
It was always an adventure. And I don't know if we get back to that. Obviously, going hand in hand with that, I'm sure cops wait around and would be like, try to kick them out
Hmm.
if they start doing it. But this is great for any true fan of sporting events,
Yeah.
artists. This is a big deal. Now, California to follow suit would be pretty awesome as well. I don't know what this means for companies like, major resellers,
Hmm.
as far as like, like a StubHub or, SeatGeek, stuff like that. I'm sure that obviously they're still going to get their fees and stuff, but
Hmm.
the monetary value is certainly going to decrease, and their percentage off of that
Hmm.
that they make will decrease as well. So yeah, I like this trend. I think it's worth
Yeah.
it. I think it's good and brings more opportunity to everybody else.
Yeah, I think it brings more opportunity. I'm curious to see how it goes for Ontario, Canada, because if it's successful, it's one way to stop the scalping game in, live events. Because tickets do go for three times what they cost. And
Mhm.
like I say, I think it's not cool for anything, but I also get it's a business for some, but it's like when you make it so crazy unaffordable, it just isn't enjoyable the way a hobby is, or even this fun event that it should be. So I'm curious how it's gonna go. I read about this. I thought it was really cool, but I'm also curious, like I'm curious how they're gonna stop it because, like I say, someone like you said, they're gonna go back to old school. They're gonna go underground. It's, oh, we got tickets. We're not gonna put it on StubHub, Ticketmaster to resell for X amount. It's like you got to come to this place and we'll give you, we'll transfer it over to you. Um, I don't think they really sell paper tickets, so I don't know if we could go back to that old school way where you're just outside of a stadium is like, hey, you need some tickets? I always
Mhm.
remember walking by the stadiums like, hey, you got some tickets? I
Mhm.
got some right here, and they just pull out like their coat, like what you need, upper level, lower level, box seats. Like, oh
Yep.
shit, like I don't know if they could do that anymore, just because, like I say, everything's just electronic. I know when I went to, this was like 3 years ago, Santa Barbara Bowl. I think a majority of those tickets are all electronic. I think you have to
Mhm.
scan something, so
Mhm.
it's gonna be a lot harder. But I am very curious what it's gonna do, how it could push the reselling away, and honestly. I think it's great because it's pretty much calling out Ticketmaster because I think the rumor is and what we hear a lot is Ticketmaster was doing it themselves. Like I say,
Mhm.
Ticketmaster had their insiders buying the tickets, reselling it, and they were still charging more for the resale, plus you still have to pay all the fees. Those hidden
Mhm.
fees are insanely expensive.
Oh
Buy
yeah.
$150 ticket, you still got to pay $100 in fees probably for some concerts. And like even reselling, like you mentioned, sometimes you have to resell because you get sick. So an
Mhm.
emergency happens, you can't go, you don't have insurance on the ticket. So it's like you're gonna resell it. Like the fees they charge you just to resell it, like on Ticketmaster again, it's insane. It's a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
money. So it's like even if you sell it at like what you paid for, they're still going to charge you extra fees, so you're losing money. So you're not
Yep.
even making money. So like Ticketmaster in general just has to get better. I think they're looking into it. And I don't know if you also heard Harry Styles. He has his New York City Madison Square Garden residency there. And recently I saw a report that Ticketmaster caught that there was a lot of bots being used for scalping. So they took all those tickets. They canceled all those tickets and they're going to put those tickets back out for the fans.
Nice.
And it's going to be at face value. It's not going to be any higher. So
Mm.
I'm curious what that's going to look like. It could still be bots that go in trying to buy it, but like I say, it's sort of like that risky business now for people that want to go to this Harry Styles concert. If you buy the ticket on StubHub, a secondary market, SeatGeek, whatever, and those tickets get canceled, you're still gonna get charged by whoever, you bought the ticket for, and sometimes you can't even get your refunds. Like I said, it's sort of like a
Yep.
middleman. They're like, hey, it's not our fault.
Yep. Yeah. Not our fault. You decided to get stomach flu.
Yeah.
So some something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
a thought kind of came to mind right now too. I think about, maybe the amount of people that, popular sports teams, for example, right now, maybe like you think of a team like the Dodgers, you think of Toronto, Blue Jays just made the World Series last year. Season ticket holders, I don't know what the percentage of people that buy season tickets to just then try to resell those tickets repeatedly and try to make a profit, and a side gig out of it. This would stir them away as well. Somebody who's looking to attend the games as it's intended with season tickets, or the times that you can't make the game. You usually, if you own a business, maybe you gift it to clients or family members, friends, you name it, but people trying to make, an extra penny off of it. Yeah. It's true fans again get to enjoy season tickets. Maybe some of these wait times to get season tickets will be stirred away. But my curiosity is how many people will that steer away?
Yeah. Yeah, it is sort of, I think with like everything that they're scalping for, it's sort of like the consumers. It's like how many people are just gonna stop buying it. I think we've talked about it. This was probably like years ago when with like Fidel and Daniel with like scalpers, and Pokemon cards, trading cards.
Mhm.
That game, like I say, if you want to get into the trading card hobby, you got to have a deep pocket. Like I say,
Yeah.
you buy retail, it's gonna be so hard for you to hit a good card. You have to be buying hobby boxes, those type of things. Pokemon, you have to be camping out for probably like 2 days just to get like one box. But it's like there's so many resellers, and it's like they're still doing it because there's still a market for it. There's still people buying it. So it's like I always see posts like just stop buying from scalpers, and they're gonna stop because like I said, they can't afford to buy more.
Yep.
But nobody's ever going to stop. And I think it's the same with concerts. Nobody's going to stop.
Mhm.
Harry Styles, he has this residency, but there's so many people that want to go watch him or are a fan of him. We saw it with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift had ridiculous amount of shows, but it was still so
Mhm.
hard to get a ticket to that.
Oh
And
yeah.
if you got it at face value, you're one of the few lucky people that did. A lot of
Mhm.
people had to pay 2 to 3 times, even more for those tickets. So it's like
Yep.
it. We know what the solution is, but I don't think it could ever happen. It's going to be so hard. So that's why I'm curious what Ontario does and how it actually looks.
Yeah, they're going to be the guinea pig for this. So, yeah, let's see how it turns out. Boots on the ground, people. Yeah, I'd appreciate that for,
Yeah.
Banter on the Rocks. Any boots on the ground in Ontario area of Canada, let us know. Ticket resellers, are we going old school? Are we going paper
Uh,
printouts? Are we doing trench coat? What section do you want? Um, gotta if you're gonna resell, you gotta get back to the hustle. Don't use a
mhm.
bot. You can't use a bot.
Yeah.
You're gonna send a robot out there to try to resell. They're not gonna.
Uh,
they're not going to bargain well. So,
No.
um, yeah, curious. Boots on the ground. Love to see it. And yeah, yeah. But you're right. You got to get really lucky to get face value tickets these days.
Mm-hmm.
And, this will certainly help a whole lot of that going on. So, more money in your pockets
Yeah.
to, I don't know, afford gas to get there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the way gas is right now. It's a whole
Yeah,
different banter take.
it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But you got another take, Tim? Or
I think that was it.
okay.
I was trying to, a topic did come to mind. I totally forget what I was going to bring up though.
Okay.
Do you have
I
any other
got
topics to talk about?
I got two more. I'll send them to you.
Oh, send them. Let's
All
see
right.
it.
So here's the first one.
Love it. With Simons about to miss the World Cup for Netherlands national football team after an ACL tear, this might be bigger than just one player. Because now you've got to wonder, are top soccer stars about to start protecting themselves and taking breaks from club play? The schedule is packed, the stakes are high, and one injury can cost you the biggest stage in the world. So, what matters more, club loyalty or making sure you're healthy for the World Cup? Yes, exactly. You got to weigh this out.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more important to be doing it for your country? Oftentimes,
Mm-hmm.
these players grow up obviously playing in their country, starting at a young age, working their way through, even amateur leagues, small professional leagues.
Mm-hmm.
And then oftentimes, unless they're in Europe, they're
Mm-hmm.
they're leaving their country in order to, compete. Because, as we know, EuroLeague soccer
Mm-hmm.
is typically where it's at, EPL. And it just comes back to like, a lot of these players, I feel like do really want to do it for their country. It's like where they started, obviously, it's their
Mm-hmm.
roots, it's their family, it's their history. And any moment that they can get back to competing for their country, I think is moments that they want to do. We saw
Mm-hmm.
Messi winning it for Argentina. Obviously, his team played very well as well. It wasn't just Messi, but it was like the crowds that were crowding the streets of,
Mm-hmm.
major cities in Argentina was outrageous and incredible to see. Like, I can't believe they were even able to drive a bus through those crowds.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. But you get that recognition.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really getting that with club play.
Yeah.
It's on a far lesser scale. Obviously, you have avid fans and everything for club play, but I guess it really depends on the individual. But if you have maybe a good relationship with your country, or
Mm-hmm.
your whole family didn't relocate at one point, I know that, for example, second generation, right? You can, you're say you're born and raised in the US and your parents are from Mexico, you can still go compete for Mexico if I'm
Mm-hmm.
not mistaken, right?
Yep.
So, it's is that connection enough for people, family
Mm-hmm.
history, stuff like that, or do you prefer, something else with
Yeah.
club play? But this is going to be a big deal. Club
Mm-hmm.
play, is it going to take a hurt? We talked about it with, the breaks that it hurt my Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like that weight, kind of killed momentum. Those breaks are kind of established for qualifiers, and
Yeah.
these things only happen every 4 years, John.
Yeah.
I think fighting for your country, as World Cup stage might be a little bit bigger deal for most.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna be a bigger deal. I think with this last injury to Simon's, um, like I say, he didn't even play for a big, or he plays for a big club, but a big club that isn't really relevant right now. He plays for Tottenham. So, getting an ACL tear when your team wasn't even competing for a championship, and now he isn't going to be playing for the Netherlands. Netherlands have a decent squad that they can make a run. And like I say, in soccer, especially the World Cup, a team like the Netherlands, you got to be careful with. So he's going to be missing that. And like I say, imagine they do go on and win the World Cup. He isn't part of that squad anymore. And just
Mhm.
that disappointment, how hard would it be just being like, man, the one time I get injured and can't compete? because I was just playing for my club team before the World Cup. I got injured and I'm out. Like it's unfortunate, you know. I think Endrick with Brazil, he's already been ruled out, if I'm not mistaken. Not probably one of the bigger players, but still a big name. And it's just sort of like for Arsenal, you know, is Saka going to want to continue playing? You know, Declan Rice, you know, because England is supposed to be a solid team. I think they could have a chance at winning it, you know, and Saka is part of that. Declan Rice, I think, is part of that starting squad. They go out with an injury, you know, and if Arsenal loses the league as well, injury for what? For absolutely nothing. You
Hmm.
know, so it's like you got to start weighing those options because the World Cup comes every 4 years. It's for your country. And when you know your squad has a fighting chance, you got to give everything to that country because if not, you may never go back to a World Cup. Look at Italy. 3 World Cups not showing up. Some of those players that have been stars for so many years,
Hmm.
you know, they're going on 12 years of not making the World Cup. That's just a shame, you know, and it's unfortunate that we've never seen some of those players show up at a World Cup. So it means everything. I saw the injury and I was like, that just sucks. I'm like a month and a half away from the World Cup. Having an injury like that, it's a damn shame.
It is. And I'm seeing here, John, this is probably salt on the wound.
Mm.
He plays for Tottenham.
Yeah, yeah,
Ooh, team on the verge of relegation.
yeah,
You tear ACL.
yeah,
Ah, that's so brutal.
yeah.
Brutal. Yeah, this is really going to stir the pot with that
Hmm.
decision. It's like this is the perfect
Uh,
example. Are you, I mean, quite frankly, he's probably not even gonna, like, let's say Tottenham gets relegated. He's not going to play for them next year.
Most
He's
likely.
too much of a
Hmm.
talent. I'm sure
Hmm.
that they'll sell him, to a
Yeah.
different club, and then he'll
Hmm.
get his chance in, Premier League, somewhere else. And it's like, is it all worth it? Now it ruins your chance. And I can't imagine what
Hmm.
he's going through,
Hmm.
obviously physically, but mentally also. It's like, man, you're literally at the finish line to begin the
Hmm.
World Cup. Netherlands as a squad, competitive, right? Like very
Yeah.
good team. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
So,
always liked their squad. They're always competitive. They remind me of like a Belgium squad, sneaky good or can be good. They just never have performed when the lights have been shining on them. And that's
mhm.
sort of been the Netherlands. Netherlands get pretty far, but then they lose it, you know, in like the quarterfinals. So a
Yep.
squad that's just right there. And like I say, Xavi Simons, he's a big part of that team. Or I don't know if he is as big of a part as he was in the past, but like I say, still someone that would have been on that Netherlands squad.
Got it. Yeah. No, it's kind of a brutal scenario
Hmm.
with all that. God, I
Yeah.
can't imagine. Um, yeah, and obviously he's a big name, but imagine if this comes down to, like let's say it was Messi a few years ago. Let's say it's Messi right now.
Uh-huh.
Playing for Inter Miami, like
Hmm.
is an injury for an MLS club,
Yeah.
going down. I don't want to jinx it. God, Inter's going to get bad rap for that. I should have used a different example, but it's a big deal. You
Yeah.
could think of even what Christian Pulisic, right,
Hmm.
with the U.S. Same kind of
Hmm.
issues. Mbappe, he's still
Hmm.
playing. Um, yeah, and then Ronaldo, he's been injured recently,
Hmm.
right? Like, is he going to be healthy enough for World Cup play?
I think they're saying he'll be ready for the World Cup. I think he's been
Okay.
taking the break to avoid re-injuring himself, and I because for him it's his last World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, I think dream matchup. You know, and you could ask Rob this later. If we
Hmm.
could get to a final and it's Argentina versus Portugal, oh my gosh, most watched game because it's either Messi wins 2 in a row or Ronaldo finally wins his and is at that's people will say at the same level as Messi.
Yep.
Um, so we'll sort of see, like, but like I say, if we don't see Ronaldo, it's sort of like Portugal. Portugal's a solid squad, I think, without Ronaldo. Ronaldo has age, but still, he is a big difference maker, just like Messi is for Argentina. Older, but
Yep.
when Messi's on the field, you got to have all eyes on him, and it opens up so many more lanes on that pitch. So, Yeah, like I say, for like the U.S. Pulisic, I want him to stay healthy because he is one of our big stars for Team USA. We are a disappointing squad. I hope we could do well, but yeah, and like I say, for those people that root on Mexico, they're top stars. You want them to be ready for the World Cup. I think their top goalkeeper got injured about a month or 2 months ago. And
Wow.
they're saying Ochoa has to come back, that's the only other goalkeeper that could do something in the World
Hmm.
Cup. So it's like, you lose your top goalkeeper, you have to go to your backup, which, they are serviceable, but man, it's not your top guy.
Yeah.
Their trust is so different.
I do appreciate Ochoa for his afro though, right? He's
Yeah.
a big afro guy.
The curly hair with
Yeah,
his headband.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Yeah, so hey, yeah, I mean at least he's an experienced kind of backup,
Hmm.
for a scenario like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's brutal. All these late
Hmm.
issues, it can decimate a team, it can ruin the vibe, but hopefully these squads can kind of figure out a way to
Hmm.
pull through.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I said, their EPL is getting down to the wire. I think Bundesliga, the German league, that one's been determined. Um, the the Premier League, the Spanish Premier League. I don't know. Let me see. La Liga standings. I think it might be pretty much done. Barcelona have a 11-point advantage to Real
Oh boy.
Madrid.
Oh
So I
yeah.
think that I think they've solidified that.
Hmm.
Italian league, Serie A. Let's see standings. Uh, Inter has a 10-point lead to Napoli, so that one might be also almost in the book. So those players are going to probably start taking some breaks. Um, yeah, so like I said, a lot of these big leagues are they're getting ready, winding down, um, leading up to the World Cup. Like I say, I'm curious to see how many players start sitting down, especially after this Simon's injury with that ACL tear.
Yeah, let's see if it's the start of a trend because
Hmm.
it very well could be. MLS, they're about to wrap up soon, right?
Mm,
Or they got some
I
time.
I think they got time. I think they're gonna. I don't know if they play during the World Cup or if they take a break. Let me see. It goes into
Man,
May
shout out San Jose
23rd.
Earthquake. 9-1. Best
So
team
so
in the
that
league.
yeah, they take a break. So May 24th, they don't come back and after the May 24th games, they don't come back until July. So that's
Okay,
pretty much that World Cup time.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little less important.
Yeah. Like I
Not
said,
quite as
I,
big a deal.
I think players that are playing in MLS right now, they're taking it easy, probably not playing too hard. Like I say, if I was a pro, I knew I had a spot on the international squad, whatever country that is, and I was going to go to the World Cup. I would be taking care of myself if I was like, I'm not going to be playing hard or I just don't even want to play. Like I need a, I'll go to training, get, practice, stay in shape. But man, I would be very careful playing games because I know
Yeah.
I get an ACL tear, I'm out, and then I don't represent my country, and it might be my only chance.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. Yeah. I wonder, it's a little different when it comes to the Olympics, huh? Like I feel like, like for example, basketball,
Hmm.
it's a big deal for athletes to maybe
Hmm.
participate in
Yeah.
the Olympic Games with basketball, but I feel like just where the NBA status is at least here in the States, like
Hmm.
that might take precedent over it. I think
Yeah.
it's a cool thing for, our insane basketball talent here in the
Hmm.
States, to do. But it hits a little different. I feel like when it comes to soccer, like just competing for your country just takes a
Hmm.
different meaning in a sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, Winter Olympics, you have, all these storylines with bobsled or
Hmm.
skiing and stuff like that. It kind of hits home like that,
Hmm.
with a comparison of
Yeah.
World Cup soccer. So yeah, a
Yeah.
little different.
I think it's the biggest stage in the world. I don't think any other sports has an international tournament that hits the way the World Cups does. I think basketball has FIBA or whatever it is, but it never
Mhm.
is. I think the Olympics are a lot better than that FIBA tournament that they do every now and then.
Oh, for
I,
sure.
I think people are more into that. I think the only thing that maybe gets close to it is hockey during Winter Olympics. That's the
Yep.
one sport I think sort of matches like the what all those players have and also the fans towards those national countries.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like I said, nothing compares to soccer. Like I say, it's going to be one of the most watched games, tournaments, and like I said, we'll talk more soccer. I know we're going to try to get Armando and Rob on
Mhm.
to talk more about it, but I'm so excited it's in the US because, like I said, I don't have to be up at 3 a.m. watching these games. I
There
could
it
be
is.
watching
Yep.
them, from 1 to 8 p.m., whatever it is.
Exactly. Yeah, no, likewise. It'll feel like you're watching, it's NFL Sunday,
Hmm.
just all the different time zones here in the
Hmm.
States, or, the games in Mexico, Canada, kind of same difference.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
super pumped for it. Certainly that's going to be the topic. Hopefully we can get, maybe at least a couple weeks out of Bondo
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
Rob for this. Because yeah,
Yeah.
to have you three gurus, like I said, I'll just be the assist guy, uh, passing off
Yeah.
the questions. But super excited. I think the environments everywhere are going to be phenomenal.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Oh, also with the other topic,
Yeah.
it's resellers for World Cup if they play in Toronto, right? There's
Eh,
some Toronto matches, right?
yeah, there's a few, so they may get affected with it. So we'll sort of see how that
Ooh,
goes.
bummer, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
imagine they're all pumped and they haven't sold their ticket yet and
Yep.
face value, or you
Yeah.
gotta go.
Yeah. No, yeah. So we'll sort of see how that goes for World Cup, in Ontario,
Yeah,
Canada. Um, and then here's one last take I had for you.
love it. All right.
Hmm.
Gen Z calling the Nike Air Force One a dad shoe is wild. Like, that's not just a sneaker, that's history. And that's like calling jeans basic. Yeah, because they work, not because everything needs to be loud to be good. Feels less like the shoe fell off and more like people just got bored. I have something, and that just really never missed. So is it a dad shoe or just a victim of being too consistent? Certainly a victim of being too consistent. That is absolutely outrageous. I haven't seen this, but that would actually kind of tick me off of like,
I thought it
dude,
would.
are we dead ass calling the Air Force One? And I honestly, John, I feel like I have every right to hate on the Air Force One at the moment because I am convinced
Hmm.
that's where my plantar fasciitis started recently. Completely healed, by the way. If you ever, just quick little snippet, if
Yeah.
you ever get plantar fasciitis, just find some type of ball to roll your foot on.
Oh yeah.
Just do it. Like, the pain will be tough, but it's good pain. You'll love yourself for it because it'll get
Yeah.
better after about 2 weeks. And that's what happened
Yeah.
with me. Don't really have it anymore, knock on wood. But anyways, Air Force One, quality shoe. And then
Hmm.
all of the different, designs for it that you can get. You can make
Hmm.
customs. It's always been like a classic shoe that you can pair with really
Hmm.
anything. Like, it's
Yeah.
comfortable. Um, it fits. Like, I can't, why 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 are we doing this? Let's keep it to um what are the other Nikes? The Nike, like the
The
genuine dad shoe. Is it the
I don't even know.
what are those
The
bad boys called?
the they're not the Tiempos, right? Is it? No.
No,
Let's see.
Nike dad shoe. An effort on this real quick.
The
Oh, it's
Monarchs.
Monarchs. Yeah. If you Newer generations, if you want to see a dad shoe, look at those bad boys. Those are, put your blue jean shorts on, get the lawnmower revved up. hit the lawn, full force.
Hmm.
That's the Monarchs.
Yeah.
That's a classic shoe, and it hasn't lost its grit, along
Hmm.
the way. It certainly has the grit of a father doing
Yeah.
weekend chores, and that's the best thing. But never are we
Huh.
seeing dads wear Air Forces to do chores. Now, this could be an issue of maybe we're getting that old, John,
Yeah.
being millennials, that we would wear Air Forces to do chores around the house.
Mhm.
Um, and maybe that's the issue, is like we're sticking with our classics, and now the Air Forces are being influenced into a category of the Monarchs. I think it's an absolute shame and it's a travesty, because there's a big um yeah, this is going to be a get off my lawn moment for us. This is real bad.
Yeah, I saw that today, and when I read it, I was just like, I gotta share this with Tim because I feel like Tim has a certain way. I- I'll say I've only owned maybe two pairs of Air Forces, and that was like in my younger years. I haven't owned any since because I've owned more Jordans, and for me, like you mentioned, what our generation does with Air Forces, we use it for everything now. I use my Jordans for everything. I've been painting, and I've had some of my Jordan 1 lows that I've just been using and painting. And
Mhm.
like I say, I'm at a point where I don't care about the creases. I let them get creased. So I'll crease them in front of these youngsters and let them squirm. But it's like they're shoes. They're meant to be worn. I like the comfortness of the Jordan ones. Same with the Air Forces, but yeah, when I read that they're thinking this is a dad shoe, I'm like, get the hell out of here. I'm like, they are nothing close to
Yeah.
those other Nikes. They're nothing close to the New Balances that, are the official dad shoes. Like, if you think Air Forces are that, like, you guys are smoking some good stuff. I don't know what you guys want. Like,
Mm.
how flashy does it need to be? Like, you see someone in all black Nike Air Force Ones, you better watch out. Don't mess with that guy. You gotta just stay out of his way.
Yeah. Like, you don't want to cross somebody who seems like they're in a bad mood while wearing black Air Forces. Like, they have nothing to lose. They'll beat the
Yeah.
crap out of you. That's the motto behind black
Uh,
Air Forces. And I think that's why, like, a guy like Mike Tomlin, I think, gifted the entire Steelers team a pair of black Air Forces,
yeah.
because he wanted, we're going to go in there, we're going to kick your ass this week.
Yeah.
And I appreciated it. I thought it was
Yeah.
great. And sounds like something our generation would do. Mike
Hmm.
Tomlin, I think he's from a generation before, but I respect it.
Yeah.
Solid choice.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're doing this. And you know, it's gonna be inevitable. I think maybe a handful of times now, John, just from doing this podcast and bantering back and forth with people who maybe don't agree with our takes. I think I've probably been called Unc once or twice now.
Oh,
And
dang.
it's like too soon. Like, yes, I
Uh,
am technically an uncle, but I'm not an unc, dude. Like,
yeah.
that's like, neither are you, John. That's for your mid to late 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
Then you can call people unc.
I'm
We're
getting
not.
there. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'm about to hit 40 this year or next year. I'm like, I'm getting there.
It's just crazy just to have that, coinciding with Air Forces. There's no way. I refuse to believe it. Anybody who says otherwise, just go take a look at a pair of mid 90s New Balances or the Monarchs, and you'll
Yeah.
you'll change your mind, because the Air
Yeah.
Forces are, yes, they are a classic, but they're far from
Yeah.
like anything. Mid 2000s. Look up any music video from like hip hop or
Oh
rap.
yeah.
They're
That's all you would
wearing
say.
Air Forces.
Yeah.
Like, that, you cannot say that's a dad
Yeah.
shoe.
Hmm.
Like, they're not repping Monarchs in those
Yeah.
videos.
No, for sure. It's like, yeah, those aren't dad shoes. Like I say, I know everybody likes the pizzazz. It's a word I've noticed myself saying a lot today. I don't know
Yeah.
why I'm saying it, but
Solid word. Solid
like
word.
the flashiness, like the colors, like how crazy some of these shoes get. there are some that I really do like how they look, but then there's some I'm like, "Ugh, why are you guys wearing that shit? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't
Yep.
match any clothes. Like, you're wearing the most ridiculous outfits." So it's like, but the Air Forces, the all white, man, you could wear that to a dress, like a dress event. You'll be solid.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you could wear the all blacks with a suit, and people will probably think you're wearing dress shoes because they're just
Yeah.
that clean. You know, and if you don't like the all white, just get like a nice little color on the switch, blue, orange, red, whatever it goes with, matches so much clothes. So, like I say, and it's a good everyday shoe. You could walk with it, you could do house chores with it. Like, I don't get why this post was there. I saw it on Instagram, and like I say, how accurate it is, it sounds like something that Gen Z would say that they are dad shoes now.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, this is a real shame. I'm seeing I'm on Reddit currently with this topic. It took its way to Reddit.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's
So
bad
so
news
it's
bears.
legit. It's
It's
legit.
growing. It's growing. I see a picture of Michael Jordan, and then the slogan on it says "F them kids." With the new generations calling these Air Force Ones dad shoes. Yeah, see, this guy, he's got it. He says, I beg your best fucking pardon. Those white New Balance shoes are a dad shoes, not Air Force Ones. Thank you. Look
Yeah.
up New Balances.
Hmm.
Look up the Monarchs.
Yeah.
Dad shoes. Like Air Forces will never be considered a dad shoe. Like, what do they call them? The Nike Quartz, I think, something like that. It's like a I think a step below an Air Force, maybe like not quite such a
Hmm.
big sole.
Yeah.
Those I think would be slightly closer, just because they're not quite an Air Force.
Yeah. I think
Um,
they're the more tennis type shoe.
correct. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep, I could see that a bit more.
Hmm.
Certainly not this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I say, if you get those net, I looked it up, the New Balance 608s, those are the legit dad shoes. Like
those bad boys.
those bad
Yep.
boys. If you get it in that navy blue, for sure. You got to be called the dad for that one. You know, if you
Yep.
get a different colorway, maybe you get away with it, but yeah, it doesn't make sense. It getting to Reddit shows that it's gonna be pissing people off, and I could tell it got to you, Tim. It got under your skin that that take.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those New Balance 608 shoes, um, if you can buy them at Kohl's,
Oh yeah,
we're gonna call them a dad shoe.
yeah.
Those are let me put the burgers on the grill today, son, shoes. Those are the do you want your buns toasted on the grill shoe. It's outrageous.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, it's come on. Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. I
Don't
don't.
do that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're looking for in shoes. Like I say, and like I say, the shoe game. I don't know if you heard Tim or you saw Rich Paul talk about it. I
Nope.
saw someone else talk about it. I forget who. But there is rumor or the sayings that basketball shoes, like player shoes, aren't as popular. They're not making the same amount as money. And some people are saying it's just there's so many player exclusive shoes that it's just so hard to really pick. Um, and honestly, for me, they're just not as interesting as they were before. Like I say, there's always some
Mhm.
cool silhouettes that come out. I think we talked about it, the Ja Morant's, the Jurassic Park ones. Those look pretty cool.
Yep.
But in all honesty, am I really ever gonna wear them? No, I'm not gonna buy them. I just think they're cool though. Like I
Yeah.
say, if I really want to be all Jurassic Parked out, maybe I'll buy them. But it's like I'm never gonna have to need it for any of that. So it's like the one silhouette that's always going to be popular, Jordan, Kobe's, and then maybe some LeBrons. LeBrons for me aren't. I'm not a fan of them. I don't like the way they
Uh-huh.
look. But the Kobe's and the Jordans, those are the only two silhouettes I'm like, those are fire.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Those are my two biggest brands of shoes I have. But I do own, no shame in this either. Some crazy looking like colored shoes. Like it's I do have, dude, John, I think I have three pairs of LeBrons.
Oh yeah. Oh dang.
Jen hates it. She, if I
Does
put
she?
those bad boys on, she's like, what the F are you doing? You know, I have a pair of the all reds from
Oh
his
dang.
second to newest model.
Hmm.
I have a different, and then I have like the all grays. Yeah, no, I went crazy with them. Got them at a good price and the resale
Okay.
value. I kind of checked that. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm repping these bad boys and they want 200 on StockX for them, I'm
Uh,
gonna feel pretty good about the selection.
yeah.
And then I even own a pair of Lamellos. The
Oh,
Pumas.
the
Yeah,
oh the Pumas. I was about to say the
yeah.
Ball Brother ones.
Those get a little crazy. I wish. That'd be pretty sick. Yeah, the big baller brand.
The big baller
Um,
brand.
and growing up, like I've owned like remember those T-Max, the really shiny T-Max?
Oh, those are sick though.
Those were badass. I
Yeah.
so I owned the red, the black, and the blues of
Yeah.
those. Like those were my favorite. But back then I was actually in a league and playing.
Yeah.
That was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And then I was also a big fan of throwing it back. It's turned into a shoe talk here. Remember the pro models, the Adidas Pro models?
Hmm.
If you were a mid 2000s hooper,
Yeah.
you wanted a pair of pro models.
Yeah.
Those were really big time for a minute, and I really liked those too back in the day. Nowadays, there's no way I would have any purpose wearing a pro model. I don't even know if they sell them anymore. But yeah, mid 2000s hoops, like if you know
Yeah.
about the pro models, those are classic.
Yeah, those were classics. Like I say, if you go back to the shoe game, like let's say the Jordans are the popular ones, the Kobe's, man, back in the 90s, early 2000s, Allen Iverson's, the Reeboks, man.
Oh, the zipper?
If you
I had a
didn't,
pair of
yeah,
those.
both of them, the zippers and like the
Mhm.
honeycomb ones. Like if you didn't have those, man, you weren't cool. Like I say,
Yeah,
you were like crying in your mom, I need these shoes, please.
hell
Everybody
yeah.
had them.
You know what was another good one, John, was I owned a pair of the Carmelos, the felt
Okay.
ones, the black and light
Yeah.
blue. Those were
Yeah.
solid. Because that was a
Yeah.
Jordan collab as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anything Jordan collab was always pretty solid.
yep.
Um, I say that the newer shoes, I I'm not a fan of too many of them, honestly, unless they're like Kobe type of player edition kinds or Jordans. Not the biggest fans. Like KD, honestly, the only KDs I liked were the KD 10s. The ones that were like knit.
Okay. Yep.
Those were like some of the shoes that if I could still get some, I will, just because they're the ones I like the most.
Yeah.
Steph Curry's, I'm not trying to be a hater on Steph, but I was never a fan of his
No,
Under Armour
likewise.
ones.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if he gets a new deal with someone, they'll be a little bit better.
Hmm.
I'm looking right now at like some of the big ones. Harden's, never a fan of Harden's shoes.
No. Sabrina has a good
The
shoe.
yeah, those are pretty good.
Yeah. I like those a lot.
Nikola Jokic shoes, if you look at his,
Uh-huh.
those are pretty cool. I haven't bought any because, like I said, I just don't ball anymore, so it's not really worth my money.
Yep.
Um,
Those are nice. The
but
Tatums,
the
Jason
Tatum's,
Tatums, those are
yeah,
pretty decently popular.
yeah. But like I said,
Um,
you know, like I said, Sabrina's remind me of like the Kobe's.
They do. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I like them is for that reference as
yeah,
well. Yeah, those are solid.
yeah. Yeah, I think my craziest shoes, basketball shoes that I own right now still are the Russell Westbrook why not? It's just this crazy
Oh,
colorway that has like it looks like five different shoes into one. Just like a Frankenstein of shoes.
love that.
Yeah. Do you remember the
Love that.
the Adidas Kobe's, the one that had like no laces, like looked like a
Yeah.
spaceship? Those
I've
are
Ross
Ross.
sells those.
Oh,
They
okay.
they 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 got them every once in a while. Contemplating buying a pair, but I'm like, how am I going to wear these bricks?
back
You know, because they look
back in
that
the
way.
day
Great
though,
stuff.
they were popular.
Oh, extremely.
I don't think I ever owned that pair, but I was always like, man, those looks pretty sweet.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I even had a pair of those high top Kobe's at one point.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Decent year for him, but the low top,
Hmm.
towards the end of his career, those are my faves. Those are
Yeah.
phenomenal shoes.
Yeah, I'm going through some of these it's on ESPN. I'm at the Garnets. The Garnets are okay. Trying to think, run our tests. T Max shoes. Tracy McGrady shoes are always pretty solid.
Those were great. Love those.
Yeah.
Who else
But
have
like
I
I
got?
say, I feel like back then it was very hard to get like your own shoe. Where now I feel like everybody coming into the NBA, if you're a top five within that top five, you're getting your own player exclusive shoe. And like I
Yep.
said, it's not as valuable. Like I said, the only thing that's still just up there are the Jordans.
Yep. For sure. No, I agree. Do you like the Anthony Edwards shoes? They're different.
Somewhat. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a fan. The Sean
Luca's are
Kemp
kind of
ones.
clean.
Yeah.
Sean
You remember
Kemp.
the Sean Kemp ones back in the 90s?
Gotta look those bad boys
The
up.
Reebok. They're like the zigzag. Those I remember those.
Oh yeah. That kind of looked like the Shaq shoes a bit, right?
Yeah.
When Shaq had that collab with Nike way back
Yeah.
when.
Hmm.
And then he came up with his Shaq brand shoes that
Yeah. You buy a
those are
Walmart.
like yeah, exactly. It's like,
Hey,
oh, are those Jordans? No, these are the Shaqs.
but that dude's making money off of that. Like I said,
Oh, he is.
you can't blame him for what he's done.
Those things are some clod hoppers right there.
Yeah.
Shaq shoes, man. Yeah, those sorry, they're the Reebok Shaq shoes is what I
Yeah.
was thinking. That look a lot like the Sean Kemp's.
Uh-huh.
Solid. Yeah, on Flight Club they want $410 for those things.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a pretty penny for those classics. It's a cool shoe back in the day though.
Yeah. No, yeah, but that's sort of like you know, we got into some shoe talk with all this,
Love it.
but yeah, Gen Z calling the Air Force Ones, man,
Stop it.
they gotta stop.
Stop it. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Yes. You're cut off.
Yeah.
You're done.
But yeah, those are our banter takes for today. Agree or disagree? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear where you stand on this week's banter takes. But we'll continue on with the NFL draft and sort of just talk a little bit NFL winners, losers. We got some player talk, and then just checking in our teams. But overall, we'll start with you, Tim. How do you feel about the 49ers draft?
Overall, I don't know what we are doing. I don't know what the game plan was. I think the game plan was to trade down consistently throughout the
Hmm.
draft. We had pick 27. Casey Concepcion, who's, kind of linked to us quite a bit, wasn't available. I think that the thought behind it was, oh, Caleb Lemieux would be available, started the second round. Wasn't the case. Pats took him there at 28. Um, we didn't even go for a secondary. It's when we opted to take a wide receiver, which I think he'll be good, but with Dazon Stribling, but too soon. Like
Yeah.
you're beginning the second round taking the 15th ranked wide receiver. Like
Hmm.
I think we could have waited. Because Denzel Boston, fourth ranked, went, six picks later. So overall, I'm genuinely a little confused
Hmm.
at, what we're kind of going for. I guess we kind of hit on needs, with a lot of our picks, but just the timing of the pick and we certainly didn't opt for best available, but this is kind of what we do. Now,
Yeah.
there another thing was the pick I really like though, was Kalen Black. I think that he is a really good running back out of Indiana, but again, a third round choice for him when he's the 15th ranked running
Mhm.
back. again, much too soon. Like we could have waited. We're just never a team that goes with best available.
Hmm.
And I think what makes John Lynch look good is Kyle Shanahan's coaching and the players that have already been drafted and are there. So, um, don't really know, don't love our draft.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
guess we kind of hit on needs to an extent.
No, yeah, I think you guys hit on needs. Did you read? I don't know if I think I might have sent it to you. Rumor has it 49ers use AI for their
I saw
draft. Yeah.
that.
Saying if you
Yeah.
aren't using AI already behind, you think it could be a little downfall right now with AI. We love you, AI. I know you're listening to us. We appreciate you, support you,
Mhm.
but might be a little too soon for the NFL.
A little too soon for the NFL. And quite frankly, AI, if you're doing it for free, just take a look at, do some research on John Lynch's contract, and you'll be like, what the hell, man? So, hey, we're just trying to support you, AI. We're here for you. Just go after them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a wild rumor. And if we are genuinely using that, I see the result.
Yeah.
No offense, no offense. But it's like what are we doing? Like
Uh,
the timing of the picks was just a head
yeah.
scratcher.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's a big head scratcher, a lot of reaching, but like I say, if these rumors are actually true, it was AI that, really did a lot of the scouting and supported with the draft strategy and stuff like that, and it works out, everybody's going to use AI after this. If it
Yep.
works out. If it doesn't work out, you guys might be a laughing stock for the next few years. Uh, you know, Trey Lance, a lot of these picks you guys have had the last few years
Yep.
haven't come to fruition, and it's just like, man.
Hmm. Yeah. No, every single pick seems like a reach, and it's like I don't know if they queued Chat GBT or whatever AI source they use, and we're like, make us unique this year. Let's have a lot of reaches. You know,
It could
let's
be.
draft the players that nobody's thinking about in
Uh,
this round and just get them.
yeah.
And then, maybe they want this precedent of like, what are they up to over there? What are they cooking? And it's
Yeah.
just right now, it just seems like they're just throwing, a garbage burger on the grill. And yeah,
It could be. It could be. So
no
we'll sort
offense,
of
maybe
see.
the payoff, but
Like I said, if it pays off, the 49ers are genius for using AI, letting
hmm
AI do it. I honestly think like if someone could get in, someone in the 49ers franchise, like leak your guys's questions and how you got to those picks, what your guys' prompt was for AI to make that choice. I really want to see what they said because it'd be so interesting if it was
yeah.
actually true.
Imagine they're down to like 30 seconds on the clock and they're like, oh shit, what are we
Yeah.
gonna do? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's ask ChatGPT. They're like,
Yeah.
got 30 seconds here. Just name anybody from this draft. And then they're like,
Yeah.
Dizon Stribling, take him.
Yeah.
They got him. And
Yeah.
it's like, dude, huh? Um, Imagine they got Diego Pavia and they're like, next. Yeah.
Oh
Shout out
man, that
Diego. We'll get into him though.
yeah.
With
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll get
With
into
your
that with
team.
me.
Love it. This is the
Yeah.
best.
But yeah, but we'll go to the Ravens. I think overall draft wise, we did
Hmm.
decent. I think we had a good draft. With the 14th pick, we picked Ionia, um,
Hmm.
guard. I think it's really going to help protect Derrick Henry, protect Lamar Jackson. This guy looks like a beast. I think he was probably one of the top, offensive players, and letting him drop to 14. I'm happy with that pick. I did text you. I thought we were gonna get Kenyon Sadiq. I was ready to just rub it in your
Oh
face.
man.
I was ready just to go purchase that jersey.
Yep.
But we didn't let him go. We didn't pick him. I was like, if he drops a little bit, I could see the 49ers, making a move to get up there. But
Hmm.
Where he went, we'll sort of talk good and bad. We'll talk about it in a bit. But then the the rest of the draft went well. One that I'm curious and I'm sort of interested in, and I hope it works out well. Jacoby Lane, wide receiver,
Hmm.
USC.
Just looking at him.
I think this could be a nice little diamond in the rough. We need that wide receiver support, and I think he's gonna be a good one for us if it works out well. Like I said, we need that wide receiver support, that offensive support for Lamar Jackson. Can't let him be running. So I think this was a good pick for us.
Yeah, he's big frame, 6'4" wide
Hmm.
receiver. He's 200 pounds. He's
Hmm.
built. It's I think he's a good alternative to, shorter sized Zay
Hmm.
Flowers. So I think that,
Hmm.
they're going in the right direction with that. Um, yeah, and then Ione, phenomenal choice. Can't go wrong. He's an absolute beast. He provides the
Hmm.
protection you need. Your Zion Young, good grade,
Hmm.
good positional rank, edge rusher. Hopefully, kind of boost the defense after you guys didn't get Crosby.
Yeah.
Um, but you have Hendrickson now, right? So
Yeah.
it's again, I think that the defense will be pretty good. You guys get an Indiana wide receiver as
Hmm.
well. A little bit bigger frame, 6'2". Drafted a punter.
Hmm. We
Pretty good.
lost our punter in this off season.
Gotcha. Well,
Oh.
he's number two ranked punter. So
Hmm.
I always get a little worried with kicking draft picks. Doesn't always pay off. But again, you guys, six rounder versus Jake Moody going in the
Yeah.
third.
It's a little like I say, if you pick a kicker in the first few rounds, you have to hope it works out. Like I said, we got Justin Tucker. I don't think he was a top three pick, but he was one before all the things he did was great.
Mhm.
There's a few. Who was it? Janikowski was probably like the highest drafted kicker in
I think that's
NFL
right.
history, and like I said, look what he did. But then Roberto
Aguayo. Yeah.
Aguayo, man, so promising just from college, but when he came to the big
Mhm.
stage, choked.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But one kicker I was excited to see picked up by the Raiders, undrafted, the Tokyo Matsuwaza
Yeah.
from
Badass,
Hawaii.
dude. Kind of low key, kind of low key want to get that jersey. Super sick. I saw that though. I think that's freaking awesome.
Hmm.
But we're big fans of Hawaii's kicker, also from Japan. Um, Sort of a trend, it seems.
Yeah. It is. It is sort of a trend, and I think that going into winners, Fat Boy, some of our Raider friends might like this, but I think Raiders did really well this draft. I think they had a
Mhm.
great draft. I don't know if I'm ready to have them as a hot take for this year, but what
Ooh.
they did with their picks, they picked up well.
They did a phenomenal job. Um, they drafted extremely well. Obviously, going with Mendoza, none of that, background hype came to fruition with trades, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Stuck with their guts. They got some secondary help. Some they drafted a center here, I can see. And then, a lot of talk about Mike Washington
Hmm.
being, there with Genty. I know that Arkansas, along with their QB was, really ran the ball well. But a big talk of the town was Jermod McCoy and how far in the draft he fell because of his torn ACL, and they're worried about
Hmm.
recovery and everything. But this is a guy who was, arguably the top
Hmm.
ranked corner.
Yeah.
And just because of injury fell so much, but to have, a guy that's grading out at 88 and you're picking him up at the start of the fourth round,
Hmm.
I see it as an absolute steal that he went that
Yeah.
far down.
Yeah.
And he's going to be great for them.
Yeah. I think it
Health is going to be
reminds
big.
me, yeah, it reminds me of like who was it on the Eagles? Jalen, their defensive tackle. Because of all the off the field issues he had,
Oh,
he
Phillips.
dropped. Yeah, no, or
Oh,
no.
because he
I
dealt with a
can't.
lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no. It was more his off the field actions.
Oh, Carter.
Eagles. Yeah, Jalen Carter. Like he dropped in the draft and fell to the Eagles,
Mm,
and look at him. He still has his issues, but man, that guy's a beast.
yeah,
There's a lot of these players that fall because of concerns with injuries, issues, and they end up being stars. So, like I say, yeah, the Raiders picking him up that late, a guy that probably without the injury would have been in the first round, even a top 10 pick. That could be a steal if he does come back healthy. And I think the Raiders are going to try to do the smart thing of keeping him healthy, recovering, but and not putting him in there too soon.
for sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. I'm going to go back to back here with topics. I'm going to choose
Mhm.
my winner here real quick, John.
Yeah.
The winner, in my opinion, well, you know what? I kind of have two, but I think one that slightly could edge out here is I really like what Cleveland did.
Hmm.
I think that Cleveland had a really good draft overall. I think starting off with an offensive tackle.
Hmm.
They get Fano, who's an absolute beast for Utah.
Hmm.
And then the draft of they did really good with wide receivers with Casey Concepcion, who I wanted with the
Hmm.
Niners. And then going and repeating that with Denzel Boston. I think there's been a lot of talk with Boston that he's overrated, but quite frankly, they're
Hmm.
back-to-back good wide receivers that they got. And then kind of an underrated pick here in my opinion was the drafting of Taylon Green really late in the draft.
Oh yeah.
6'6", dude's huge, but he's incredibly fast.
Hmm.
He can absolutely dust defenders. He's had countless big plays in college. Um, and I I kind of like him over any quarterback they currently have.
Hmm.
Call me crazy, but I say start him because what the hell do you have to lose? It's a new coach there. You're kind of starting fresh. Kind of have him build off of things with, the new wide receiver groups and, kind of go from there. Loved it with Taylor Green. I think that
Hmm.
they did a great job. They also got Justin Jefferson.
The other Justin
The
Jefferson.
other one. I've seen a lot of fake outs with that.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that they drafted very, very well.
Hmm.
Cleveland did a great job to kind of stay,
Hmm.
relevant. Crazy how many cute quarterbacks they've drafted
Hmm.
over the last 2 years.
Two
But
years.
hey, yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go straight into my next thing here, John.
Yeah.
You're kind of dodging it, and I don't like it. Diego Pavia
Okay.
joining.
I'm not dodging it. I'm not dodging it. It was a
I
conversation
love
that
it.
it had to be a separate conversation by itself. Like I said, Diego
Yes.
Pavia. Uh, what can I say about Diego Pavia? Did not get drafted.
Yep.
Is it a surprise for us too? No. I think we've called it all along. Wasn't going to get drafted. A lot
Mhm.
of question marks. A lot of his pre-draft interviews that I saw, the one with John Gruden, man, where he's talking about the agent, that was just like, kid, you
Yeah.
just need to be quiet. Like, come on, man. And like I said, he made history by being one of the Heisman finalists not to be drafted. First time ever.
Mhm.
Never happened before.
Crazy.
So it took a while for someone to sign him, but or not the Raiders, the Ravens signed him as an undrafted free agent to join our training camp. Um, we like giving people shots. We like giving people shots in Baltimore.
Hmm.
We know some people have some baggage and sometimes we've worked through it. If you look at some of our players, Ray Lewis, Charles Suggs, we had Justin Tucker. We've dealt with the baggage, gotten through for a few years, gotten some good stuff. Ray Lewis, Hall of Famer, Charles Suggs,
Yep.
potentially. Um,
Ray Rice.
Ray Ray Rice, well, before
You
all the
guys are bad.
stuff.
Oh man.
We go like from really good to
Yeah.
Ray Rice, Justin
It
Tucker.
gets
Oh
dicey.
man, Terrell Suggs is like in the middle. He's still Hall of
Yep.
Fame eligible, but some of his actions, uh.
Yeah.
So
Man.
It's a shot. Like I say, he needs a shot. Let's see if he can prove it. I think if he makes our squad, it will be as third string. But what I see his role being is a utility guy. I think he'll be like, that, fourth and one tush push type of player.
Mhm.
Like he has the power, small guy, and he if he gives everything if he wants to stay in the NFL, he has to give everything he has into that play, and it protects Lamar Jackson. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
it could be the Taysom Hill, the way New Orleans has, where he
Hmm.
comes in, some trick plays tight end, running back, because he does have speed, just on the smaller side. So I think that's what we're looking at because I don't think he's good enough to be our second stringer. But maybe as a utility player like that and just bring him in could be. And honestly, we're not paying him the money he's expecting, so it's a cheap one for us where we didn't have to draft him. Let's see what the kid's got because he was a Heisman finalist, so you have to give him some flowers. But like I said, what he showed at the combine, shown just from interviews, not the best. I'm not gonna go out and buy a Pavia jersey
Not
yet.
yet.
Not yet. If I lose a bet and I have to, then maybe. But
Yep.
we'll sort of see what happens. But like I say, I felt like someone was gonna give him a chance. I think he needed it just because of the name. You have to.
Hmm.
Um, and like I say, we're rolling the dice.
For sure. If Jen starting conversations with me about the NFL, it's
Uh-huh.
an anomaly. And the topic has been about Diego Pavia.
As a
And I love her for it. It's fantastic because I'm like, oh, you want to talk some Diego Pavia, huh? Let's get into it. And then, I was talking, about how, he's joined your team and then we're talking about, why she's like, why is he so relevant? Like he didn't even get picked. And I'm like, yeah, because and then she was saying, yeah, I kind of felt bad for him in the video I saw. And I was like, don't
Yeah.
don't feel bad.
No.
Like, yeah, no, it's a good piece of humble pie for the young man.
Hmm.
And then I started elaborating about, his mom and Theo Vaughn
Oh
and
yeah.
his cockiness and he lost the Heisman. He says F the voters and his
Uh-huh.
his family's just kind of on that entertainment tour and then the John Gruden thing, how he's too good for, maybe not too good, but he kind of acted like it. Not needing an agent because he doesn't want 5 to 10%. It's like, 5% of nothing at this point. Like, what
Yeah.
are you talking about? So, and then she kind of changed her mind. She's like, yeah, I read the comments too, and nobody felt bad for him. And I'm
No.
like, no,
Mm-mm.
they
No.
don't.
No.
So, it's I for so long story short, the entertainment factor with Diego Pavia, I think is fantastic for
Yeah.
Ravens minicamp. And I think it's great, and I think it's great for this show
Hmm.
because we're both gonna be tuned in for this. This is
Yeah.
phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, no, it's phenomenal. I won't be surprised if we are part of Hard Knocks, the
Oh yeah.
preseason, all the
Yep.
leading up to the draft. Because like I say, we picked up Diego Pavia, so there interviews out there of why we did it, possibly. Like I say, I think yeah, nobody should feel bad. I don't feel bad for the kid. His cockiness, he wasn't there. Like he was great, but like I said, there's a lot of other factors when it comes down to drafting, and he didn't have it. So I don't feel bad for him. I saw the picture of him at home with all his hats and all his friends, but that's just life in the NFL. Like I say, my message to Diego Pavia being a Ravens and with me as a Ravens fan, work hard, kid. Like get working, listen to the coaches, be humble, learn from them, and maybe you'll have a shot of a nice, decent career in the NFL.
Exactly right. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the rumors too, John. Evidently when the Ravens called him. he answered the phone. He's like, Arby's, we have the meats. How can I help you? This is Diego Pavia. And they're like, this is the Baltimore Ravens. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And
Yeah.
then, changed his tune, got
Yeah.
right out of, the Arby's attire,
Yeah.
hit the road.
He must have been at a stagecoach at the Arby's little stand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, hey,
absolutely.
hey, Theo Vaughn was there performing. I don't know if you saw that, so he probably was
Yeah.
there too.
That exactly could
Yeah,
have been it right there. Yeah, so hey, it's nice.
yeah.
They're doing a great gesture here for Mr. Diego Pavia. See what they draw up for
Yeah,
him. Minicamp will be a real joy.
yeah.
Love it.
But like I say, you could call him one of the biggest losers of the weekend,
Mhm.
or of draft week. Another one for me, just very surprising. I feel like the Giants. I don't know what they really did with their first few picks.
Mhm.
Harbaugh. I don't know if it was a Harbaugh decision, a Cohen decision, who it was, but wasn't really happy with theirs. And then I just think the video of Makai Lemon
Mm.
getting the call from the Steelers, sort of welcoming him, and then the Eagles just being Eagles, trading up one place ahead and swooping him away from them. Hilarious.
Yeah. No, it's hilarious. Yeah, and with the Giants, it's got to be a lot of the GM
Hmm.
doing his work. I think he
Or
he
shown.
probably yeah was shown like I don't think he's taking his kids' advice as he
Hmm.
should.
No.
He should listen to his kiddos. I think they're on the right track before, and I think that they're on the right track. I'm sure now. But yeah, it's they had the potential to do the thing we talked about with Arvell Reese and then
Hmm.
Caleb Downs,
Yep.
right? And they didn't do it.
Hmm.
They went offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Got a good offensive tackle,
Yeah.
the number one ranked one. Um, but I don't know, something about that. And then, they go to a division foe with the Cowboys. Cowboys got him. I
Hmm.
think he's a great addition for their defense.
Oh yeah.
I think back to back Ohio State, there's nothing wrong with it. And that's a
No.
defense that, you have some really good pieces to it. And this would have added to it really well. So,
Yeah.
um, crazy.
Yeah. Crazy for them. Kenyon Sadiq for me is another loser. Uh, just drafted to a horrible organization. I feel I feel
Yeah.
for the guy.
Yeah, that sucks. Not where we wanted it to go. And another thing, I saw this, I think it went kind of viral. There was a clip of a guy that New York fans were kind of in shambles. Like they were, I think there was like a 10-minute span where the Mets
Yeah.
won a last minute, last inning game. Like it came down to the wire. Knicks ended up blowing it and losing.
Hmm.
And then right after they drafted Kenyon Sadiq. And I think a lot of the precedent was like, ha ha, you guys got Kenyon Sadiq. And I'm thinking, dude, I'd be so fucking pumped up. Like it would
Yeah.
wash away the Knicks loss. I'd
Yeah.
be like, hell yeah. I think that he's gonna be an incredible
Hmm.
tight end in the league, just athleticism alone.
Hmm.
Um, but you're exactly right. Like he's going to a team that just destroys careers.
Destroys careers. Quarterback is questionable with quarterback.
Geno. Oh,
Coaching, coach goes to sleep at the combine, doesn't even watch it. Like
yep.
it's just a lot of question marks and why Sadiq when there's so many other things they needed. And offense, I don't think they're gonna do much of make much of a difference. So like I say, it's gonna be a year of this kid just hardships that he's gonna go through.
Yeah. No, I think that's it.
Mm.
Omar Cooper, wide receiver,
Mhm.
again, another one. He was great in college, but
Mhm.
tough. And then David Bailey. Was there much talk with him going number two? It was more Arvell Reese, wasn't it? Or
It,
or
I
Simon
think it
Styles?
was more Arvell.
Mm-hmm.
But then I heard some concerns with Arvel, just
Mm.
his takeoff and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I think Bailey just had a better combine and probably pro day. Um, that sort of just put him up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you
Makes
called the
sense.
Cardinals, Jeremiah Love.
Oh yeah.
You could say good. Some people might say bad. I'm like in the middle with the Cardinals,
Mm-hmm.
draft. Great addition, but man, highest paying running back now in the NFL and hasn't even
Crazy
taken a
stat.
snap.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat. I saw that graphic. I was
hmm
like, man, that's crazy to think about how he's already
Yeah.
highest paid. Um,
Uh,
but I'm gonna stick with my gut feeling on it, and I am kind of bummed,
mhm.
with for Jeremiah Love. He's gonna get a lot of reps, and I think fantasy wise, implications, he's gonna be a great pick. But I don't know. Again, I compared him to Genty. I kind of get that
Mhm.
same vibe, and
Yeah.
and I'm not over the moon about it.
Mhm.
Hopefully he can make something happen. He's going to be a problem for a lot of defenses. There's a lot that they can draw up for him,
Mhm.
but I just feel like he'll kind of be forgotten unless he just goes berserk and gets a zillion yards.
Mhm.
Because that team is just not formidable.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think the last one for me, Ty Simpson going number 13 to the
Yeah.
Rams. Uh Rams, they must have been on the good stuff. Partying already. Thought it was probably
Mhm.
the sixth round. Because that makes absolutely no sense for what the Rams needed. Like I
Mhm.
say, they could have gotten the guard that we got, Iona, Ruben Bain, defense, Sadiq, get more support for Matthew Stafford at that tight end and blocking. Like so many other ways they could have gone. And Ty Simpson, it's a head scratcher for me. It doesn't make sense. McVay from the press conference looked a little confused as well. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
that's our pick. Team player right there. Just going with it.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'm sure that was. He's pretty pissed. But quite frankly, I think that if this isn't a good enough picture for it, I think he's done when Stafford's done.
hmm
At least with the Rams. I don't know if he has any other, ambitions to go elsewhere. But I
hmm
think I think that is kind of the writing on the wall, his
hmm
reaction. He did not seem thrilled whatsoever. I know he tried to talk it back a little bit the next day, but he wasn't really convincing anybody.
Yeah.
It's just his initial reaction is, I think how a lot of people I'm sure felt. If I'm a Rams fan, head scratcher, I'm like, what are we doing?
hmm
It's an issue. Nothing against Ty Simpson.
hmm
I just, I don't know. He had a lot of mediocre
hmm
performances, I feel like, in college, and I just don't see a whole lot coming about, and they could have
hmm
waited, longer for Ty Simpson, or just not drafted a quarterback altogether this year.
hmm
I just don't know if it's that necessary. So, that was a head scratcher for sure. And then, one other final point for me, John.
hmm
Can Instagram groups and social media accounts, mainstream networks, can we stop comparing make believe lineups like, oh, how is this lineup going to be against this lineup when it's just a bunch of rookies who haven't played one snap of NFL football? It's like, dude, every time you're going to choose the other one, it's
Yeah.
like what? Yeah, the great in college, but that means nothing when
Yeah.
you can get to the NFL. I saw so many of those graphics this week, and it's like, who's beating this Cardinals offense? It was like Jeremiah Love, and then they drafted a quarterback, right? They drafted Carson Beck, and it's
hmm
all of the comments. And before I even looked, I'm like, all other 31 NFL teams will beat that team.
Yeah.
Everybody else is saying the same thing. And it's like, dude, like just so out of hand. I thought it was just a little too much. Just my
Yeah.
opinion.
It's what everybody does. I think we sort of think of who could beat our teams with what we got, but it's like it's so hard to compare because you don't even know what some of these
Yeah.
players are. Like, look at Jamarcus Russell, was supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks. Everybody would have probably said that Raiders team was going to win it all, and
Mhm.
this guy did not show up. So it's like. We could talk about it, but it's just so hard to really say. So,
Hey,
good
be
content though.
careful, John. Tread on easy water there. I don't know if you saw the recent article with Jamarcus Russell.
No.
He said he said anybody who calls me a bust, he's gonna come over there and bust your mouth. So
Hey, it's all right. I wanna stand by
it's good
it.
content, John. Take one in the mouth for us.
I don't think he'll be able to fire me.
Yeah, man.
All right.
It's crazy because yeah, Jamarcus Russell, I mean, it's a great thing, you know. Remember all the footage on him throwing 80 yards from his knee? Like it was
Yeah.
just like the talent was there. It's just again, you can't you just never know. You don't know how it's gonna end up. But
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny with the timing of your Jamarcus Russell right there.
Hey,
Good stuff.
hey, everybody's saying it. Like I say, he's gonna have to
Yeah,
bust a lot of mouth. I'll be at the end
you're
of the line.
you're exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not alone. I think everybody would say that.
But yeah, so but that's the NFL draft. Let us know who you thought were winners, who were losers, Pavia thoughts, and then just how your team, let's see how you
Mhm.
feel your team did. We might have already talked about him, good or bad. But last we'll sort of do just a little quick NBA recap. Like I say, I'll be honest, haven't watched much other than some highlights.
Mhm.
Big news, Anthony Edwards being out. You could see it affected them today. Lost to the Nuggets 125, 113. Minnesota still leads it, so they still got 2 games to be able to do it without AE. But like I say, big loss for them because Anthony Edwards was a big difference maker for that Timberwolves team.
Yeah, he absolutely was. And then Dante DiVincenzo, same thing, torn
Oh yeah,
Achilles,
torn Achilles.
brutal. Man, if they still are able to pull off this series, I mean, just win one of the next two.
Hmm.
Um, crazy. Don't know how much further they'll make it. Hopefully, Anthony Edwards
Hmm.
can have some type of serum that, brings him back extra quick because he's so much fun to watch in the
Hmm.
playoffs. But yeah, a lot of theatrics at the end of that last one too, or not this last one, but the one right before
Hmm.
it with Jokic, running down McDaniels.
Yeah.
McDaniels stood on business though. I
Oh yeah.
appreciated that. Like he was
Yeah.
not backing down. Pretty badass.
Yeah. No, yeah. He wasn't backing down. I get it, but at the same time it's just like what difference is gonna make Joker? Like
Hmm.
the shot, like if he wouldn't have just laid it up, like it was just an easy, he was already in momentum. Just do a quick layup, call it, you're already losing. It don't matter. So um yeah, great fireworks at the end. Another game today, OKC swept the Suns. Shea's still foul baiting, and now you gotta say it. All of OKC is foul baiting. If you saw, I think it was 2 games ago, all the highlights. Chet Holmgren doing the same thing, not even shooting towards the basket, shooting like 30 feet to the left and still getting a foul. McCain doing the same thing. It's just unwatchable basketball. And it's when I see those highlights, I just don't even want to watch any basketball. I'm like, I'm just done with him.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. If the NBA and just the world in general has me agreeing with Dylan Brooks on a statement,
Oh
I
yeah.
just it goes to show you. It's
Hmm.
outrageous. Never thought I would do it because yeah, he's exactly right though. Talking about, how they have to hold refs accountable, how they're not calling these games right.
Hmm.
Devin Booker had the same exact feelings on things. He called out a ref by name. I love the players doing this, regardless of the fine.
Hmm.
It's necessary. It's complete BS. We literally the motto for us when it comes to OKC basketball is unwatchable.
Hmm.
It's outrageous. Like Chet Holmgren, God, that really pissed me off. That one foul, and he's not even aimed at the basket. He's
Yeah.
aimed at like the left corner. And it's like, if that's all they're going for, it's just terrible. Like and
Hmm.
then the Phoenix crowd going crazy when they finally get an offensive foul called against SGA.
Hmm.
And, just that smirk on his face. And it's like, dude, it doesn't happen often enough. And
Yeah.
It's so annoying. And then, for Dort to be, just a little a-hole out there
Hmm.
and, constantly doing these little bumps at everybody and kicks, and it's just not called. It
Hmm.
sucks. But yeah, I agree with all the Phoenix Suns and the things they had to say about OKC. Um, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
watchable. It's
Not
it's terrible.
watchable. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this Instagram post I sent you, but I think it was Clutch Points. I'm using my phone for our live viewing.
Mhm.
But it was sort of showing players' scores, like their scoring average, and what their scoring average would be without free throws. And
Oh, right.
everybody was like, three less than their average. Shea wasn't on the list. They didn't put him on it. They did not want to share what Shea's scoring average would be without free throws.
Wow.
Because he's probably averaging what, 28 plus. Without free throws, he's probably at like 10.
Yeah. No, it's brutal. Like, yeah, he'll have those terrible shooting performances where he'll like be 3 of 18, but
Hmm.
then because of the amount of free throws he gets, he's still scoring like 25. And it's
Yeah.
like, dude, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the thing about, one of the refs wearing his design shoe, his
Oh.
his trademark shoe, it's like why are we not looking into that a little bit more?
Hmm.
It's crazy.
Uh,
And the shame is the NBA is not going to do anything about it.
mm-mm.
And their ratings will follow. I mean, nobody. We found, I guess, all of the OKC, truthers
Yeah.
out there in that one post we had about a month ago, because just the general public does not watch with OKC.
No. Yeah, no. I don't think many people watch OKC, or at least that's probably the series that gets watched the least. I don't know. Like I said, I just don't watch any of it just because I'm focused on other things. But man, what OKC's done, it's just not fun. And like I said, I saw that post today. I was like, "Where's Shea's numbers? I need to know Shea's numbers.
Yeah.
What is averages without free throws? Because I bet you, it's alarmingly bad. It's probably like sixth man type numbers. And like I said, it speaks volume. Um, but yeah, that's another game. OKC is gonna move on. Most likely they'll face the Lakers. Lakers lost last night. I think it was last night to the Rockets. Um, Rockets, man, they're just bad.
Mhm.
Sengun looks like he might be out of Houston after this year. Um, LA, I don't think LA will get past OKC, but maybe they'll give them a chance just because they have LeBron James and refs are on LeBron's side as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. They just for relevancy tactics, yeah. They'll try to side with the Lakers as much as they can. Rockets, what a disaster. There's all this hype around it, but I just, I didn't love it because it's KD. He's towards the end of his career. He's had zero success outside of Golden State. He just
Mm-hmm.
hasn't found it. It's been a disaster everywhere he's gone. Not maybe not a disaster, but it has
Hmm.
not been good. And then with his injuries, is this it for him?
Hmm.
Is he going to keep playing?
Yeah.
I don't know what his contract, looks like right now, but um, yeah, head scratcher. It's crazy because there's a lot of talent on the Rockets, and
Hmm.
Sengun, you mentioned it. Maybe he's going to hit the road, get a contract somewhere else.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
Lakers dominating even without Luca.
Hmm. Yeah. So we'll see how they do the next round. Last one in the West, Spurs, Trailblazers, Spurs leading 3-1. I don't think were surprised about it. Wemby had a scary concussion, but came back, played, so they're doing what they got to do.
Mhm.
Um, they'll have a tough challenge next round because it's either Minnesota or Denver. Both of those teams are some of the dark horses for the West.
For sure. Yeah. No, but Wemby's great basketball to watch. Yeah, he's so much fun. 7 blocks this past
Hmm.
game. It's crazy. He's just such a beast. Um, and this was, a big part with Portland just giving it up as well. They had a huge lead at one
Hmm.
point, towards the half and completely blew it second half. Like it was an utter
Hmm.
disaster how much they were outscored to end the game. Kind of fell apart. They've made it a lot further than I think a lot of people thought, anyways.
Hmm.
But yeah, Denny Avdija, man,
Yeah,
dude's he's a baller. Dude's
he's a
really
baller.
good.
Yeah, he's good. So, well, we'll see how that series end, but promising, you know, next year for the Trailblazers, especially if
Mhm.
Damian Lillard comes back healthy, could be someone to watch out for next year. Then in the East, we talk. I don't think we've talked any East.
Mm-mm.
More competitive games. Cleveland, Toronto tied at 2-2. Like I say, I honestly haven't seen many highlights of that, but not surprised. Two solid teams. Orlando leading the Pistons 3-1. That's probably my biggest surprise of this East side.
Yeah, no, for sure. They've certainly had their number.
Hmm.
Kind of a big letdown. It seems like Cade's doing everything. That's what happened last week.
Hmm.
Um, when we were kind of discussing this series.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's just not enough.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
Magic look good. I mean, but I just yeah, both teams there. I don't think they're gonna make it. I still feel really good about the Boston pick.
mhm.
Um, out of the East.
Yeah. Yeah, because then Atlanta, New York, I'm surprised Atlanta's been able to hold it up. McCollum almost, causing overtime with that shot.
Crazy.
Um Crazy. He's been like MVP of this series, keeping
Oh
the
yeah.
Hawks in it. Um yeah, like I say, they're doing well. Kaminga's getting good minutes. Like I said, they're feeding over there with the buffets. Everybody's cool over there
Mm.
and not stingy. And then the Knicks, like I say, they play well some days and they don't show up. Um, Tied 2-2. I'm excited to see where this one goes.
Yeah. No, likewise. It's been a really good series. Atlanta has a lot of fight in them.
Hmm.
Maybe it's the Magic City Wings buffet going
Could
on
be,
over there. It gets the
could
team
be.
hyped. Big buffet guys.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, no, overall, Nick's Brunson fighting with his dad on the sideline. No,
Yep.
dad, that wasn't the play. Um, Knicks just do this. They
Hmm.
just find a way. All New York teams these days just find a way to just cause drama and not in a good way.
Yeah,
Um, Always works against them.
it does. But yeah, that's that series. And then Celtics 76ers, Celtics leading the series 3-1.
Mhm.
No big surprise. I think 76ers have a solid squad, but they just haven't been able to play together, stay healthy this season, so the chemistry isn't there. Whereas the Celtics, they've always had the chemistry. It's the same team pretty much the last few years with a few additions here and there. And Jason Tatum coming back and just playing Jason Tatum level after his injury last year. So
Mhm.
it's the one team I still think from the East, the way the others teams are playing, I think it should be pretty confident they'll make the finals.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I think I have the same confidence. I think that team wins even without their stars, and
Hmm.
they just make it look easy. A lot of times Pritchard's taken an incredible step
Yeah.
forward. Staring down Reggie Miller during the game after it made three, pretty funny. But yeah, no, and then I if Knicks win, Boston wins, they play each other again, right?
Hmm.
I
That'll be a
love
good
that.
series.
I love that. That's such a great series.
Yeah.
And Tatum, he wants
Yeah.
revenge after, an unfortunate injury last year. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we need that.
Yeah. It'll be good. So, like I say, still for me, not watchable basketball. Watch
Yep.
highlights, listen to a lot of it. Like I say, family wise, Vera, her side of the family, big Celtics fan, so I know they like to watch it. So I'll watch every now and then, talk with them about it. I've told them they're in the finals in my book.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I said, we'll see what happens. I want to see Celtics Spurs finals. That's what I want to
That'd
see
be
the
fun.
most. That'll be a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I think if you get Wemby in there, up against, the Boston squad, I agree. I think
Hmm.
that the whole Spurs team is phenomenal and has a lot of
Hmm.
heart. Both those teams, they
Yeah,
play for the love of the game. So
yeah,
love that.
it'll be good.
Hmm.
So, but that's basketball. That's all I really got for basketball. Anything else, Tim?
Same. Yeah. If I were to turn it on, it would just be like good nap time. Kind of like how
I'll
Masters
probably.
golf can get sometimes, just the
Yeah,
ambiance of it all.
yeah. You'll just knock out. Say, oh, dang.
Whistles every play are kind of like
Yeah,
crickets,
yeah,
same noise. So
yeah. No, yeah, for
that's
sure.
how it is. It's a bummer to say, but it is.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
crap.
Yeah, like I said, I think hockey's a little bit better right now too, so I'd prefer to watch that.
Agreed.
So I need to look into this what is it? Edmonton, is it the Oilers and Ducks drama overtime winner
Ooh,
last night.
very nice.
Uh, but yeah. But but yeah, well, I mean we'll talk some more hockey. We'll watch some hockey this week and talk about it next week. But
Homework for us. Love it.
yeah, but that's Banter on the Rocks for this week. Thank you everybody for bantering with us today. As always, your support keeps this going every week. And do us a solid. Hit that follow, subscribe button on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even Amazon Music. You'll get the alerts when we drop new videos, new segments, full length videos. And as always, just jump into the comments. We enjoy your guys' banter. I know we might get a lot of people calling us Unk after our little air
Mm.
sneaker talk today.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah, we're bringing you Unk Talk here. Good stuff. Love it. Thank you guys for staying tuned each and every week, joining the live.
hmm,
You name it. Watch us on your commute if you have one. Watch
yep.
us during work. Put it on for the whole office. We'll keep it lively for you guys. But yeah, appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for bantering
Yeah,
along with us and enjoy, I
yeah,
guess, NBA playoffs if you like.
yeah. Enjoy it. See ya.
Peace.